I don't know why, but I have been doing. I really like the way that that the new phone is working really nice, and nice up close pictures. You can see right now. I've really zoomed in on my camera, zoomed in on the flame. I'm going to make a bloom shroom. And yes, done it before, and I'll do it again. Why? Because I can. Right? Right. This one's going to be a lot different. I'm going to encase this stem, but I'm not going to encase a lot of it. I'm just going to encase right there, just enough to do this shroom. Okay. I'm going to continue layering, another layer or two. And it's sort of making sure that it doesn't slump downward too. It's sort of just at the end. I'm layering clear glass, and this is going to be the stem to the mushroom. I know it doesn't look like much right now. Let it round in. You know, you make those mushrooms in glass where you punch the glass, punch the color into a clear glass bubble or a clear glass, and it tends to sometimes press in and sometimes stress out and pop and break and cause problems all the way around. Right. Well, this should eliminate a lot of that. Sound interesting? Okay. There is the stem to this mushroom. And I'm deciding and have decided that this is going to be the bottom of the mushroom right here. So, oops. All right, graceful. What, from me being in my own way, I've been nobody's way at all, right? Right. This is going to be the bottom of the mushroom, right there. And I'm still going to add some more glass on top of this. You know what? Let's see if I can scrunch out a little bit. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. You'll have to excuse the cameraman. He's new at this. Or new with this camera. So that you could see what I was doing back here. And then I could zoom back in after a little bit. At the moment, I don't think you need that, but we'll get back to it. There we go. Now, of course, this is going to be a white mushroom, but I'm also going to put like dark green or almost a blue color on top of it all. Sound good to you? Go. Getting there. Oops. Yes. My new camera stand is right at my head, and when I lean in to try to get a better view for myself, I lean in and screw up your view at the same time, it looks like. Right. Okay. I'm going to flatten that a little bit. And now I'm going to add the top of the mushroom. On second thought, I'm going to add a little bit more clear around the edge of the mushroom. And I'm going to kick it up a notch. And if you hadn't noticed, I'm using nothing but a single flame on this. For those that want to try to do a mushroom like this without having the big torch deal, you can work it. Okay, I'm going to just layer one more layer of clear all the way around this stem that I have. It's also good to make sure that you have an oven, vermiculite, something to put this in immediately afterwards, because it is a little bit on the stressful side to the glass, but not, if you do it right, it's not that stressful because you are melting and heating all the glass around it and flaring it out just right. Okay? Doesn't help that I used glass that was dirty. Isn't that nice? Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to make the top of this mushroom. And the way I do that is just add it on. And it's a little bit bigger than the bottom part of the mushroom at this point. But you'll see that that's okay in the long run. Flare it out. A little bit more white. Just a little. There we go. And I'll make this into a cone. And I will put some dots on it for color. Yeah, I might even do a couple of different color dots because I can. Okay. Got some green. And I have some darker color. I think it's also green, but a little bit different. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm concentrating. Press them down. Looking like a regular mushroom at this point, right? Right. This is where it gets more interesting. Okay. Now we're going to add a lot of glass over the top of the mushroom. But right where the mushroom meets here, you're going to leave just a little bit of a gap. It's very important to leave that gap. You can see I'm getting right there. Matter of fact, let me get a little closer for you. All right. Alright. Yeah. Okay. You can see that gap between the top and the bottom, and it's very important that you have that gap. Very important to make this work to be a bloom shroom, as I call them. Very important to have that gap. I've layered and encased the top of this thing. And probably I'm going to do it one more layer. And again, make sure that there is that gap. It's very, 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 very important to have that gap. I'm going to layer this one more thickness right around the middle here. One more ring. And now I go a little bit down below that gap and add a little bit more glass, but make sure again that there is a gap between the two. I'm heating up just the rod that I'm melting onto the glass itself and not. There we go. Now you'll see that. The gap is very important. I guess I need to come out a little bit. Sorry. Cameraman again. Gonna have to dock his pay. But having that gap is very important. You can see that. And the reason being is that what's going to happen is where it's like this, when it melts, it starts to come together and the surface comes together like that and pulls outward on that little bit of brim of white. It all finds its own level surface, and you'll see what I'm talking about real quick here. It's going to all just round in and bloom outward. Take your time. It's going to happen. Keep it spinning. Turning all the way around, back and forth. It's already starting to happen. You might not be able to see it. But again, having that rim, that gap between the two is going to stretch that white to the top of the surface, or the edge of the surface, all the way around. It's happening. Just be patient. Keep heating and keep turning. Back and forth. That gap is coming outward. Making one level wide mushroom. Let it cool a little bit. You can see that mushroom bloomed out quite nicely. I'm going to put a loop on the top, or bail, whatever you want to call them. And then I'm going to melt down the bottom part of this. Does not help to have no fingernails. I'll cut them short. Keep them out of the way and keep them from bending out. Anyway. Here we go, loop-de-loo. Here we go, loop-de-lie. Okay, I'm going to zoom out again. Goes wrong direction. Zoomed in. I hope that getting close enough helps you to understand the principle of that gap. Didn't look like much when I was starting. Sometimes that's the trick. Get beyond what it's looking like when you start, but knowing, having a little bit of faith, knowing that it's going to turn into, makes a big difference sometimes. I'll just pull that off and let it round into itself. Round and round it'll go. I'm praying that this got a good, not praying. I'm hoping, I'll look at it before I send it out, but I'm pretty sure it's a good copy. That's another thing I've noticed, that I'm trying to bring a little bit of quality up in my work. Everything worked out real well on this piece. The mushroom turned out nice. Two-tone color green. There we go. And you can make it nice and round by putting it in a marble mold, if you wanted to. See there? Didn't even think about that until I was doing this, but that's okay. That's enough. Now I'm just gonna make it more of an oval. Very cool. What do you think, guys? Bloom shroom to reckon with? Thanks for watching. Carpe Vitro.